Hello, guys. Welcome to another Bar Talk show with Ellie. And of course, today I'm here with Cass. So, Cass is principal of EBS. If you don't know EBS, EBS is the European Bartending School, Cape Town. Yeah. So, Cass,
Yes, yes.
welcome.
Hi, Ellie. Thank you so much for having me.
And before we start, let's
Cheers.
cheers.
Aquaba.
Yes, Aquaba.
Aquaba.
Yenya. Yes.
Ching, ching. Mm.
So, welcome to Ghana.
It's been an absolute dream come true. Been a pleasure. I think I might have sold my soul a little bit, but it's been a real cool roller coaster. Like super grateful. Yeah, thank you so much again for hosting us all here. It's wonderful.
Always welcome. Always welcome. Yeah, so basically, we would like to know your journey. I mean, the challenges and how, I mean, basically your journey.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm originally from Namibia, born and raised, finished high school. And then after high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Initially, I thought maybe like dancing and acting would be something cool because I did ballet and modern dancing for a long time. And, I like to like shake my booty and keep myself entertained and entertain other people at the same time. But at the time, my mom, she was quite adamant. She said to me, you can't go and study something if you don't know what you really want to do. She didn't want to waste any time and any money. So I decided to rather go for a gap year. And at the time, I was just, figuring out where I want to be. I ended up taking up an administrative job in an IT company.
Okay.
I did some au pairing for the business owner, but I wasn't making enough money. And obviously, the one thing leads to another. The only job that comes to mind is go work in a bar. I ended up working in this place called Zanzibar. It was the local watering hole, the local club, just, making basic drinks. But then at some point, I guess I became a bit distracted, and the owner was like, hey, listen, I think you're better you're a better selling person. So why don't we give you a tray and you sell shots? So for the full year, I was a shooter girl, but I realized, this is a quite lucrative industry.
Yeah.
And I like working with people, and I opted to study event management. And also during that time, I was doing lots of internships. One particular one was with a mobile bar company. And that's when I realized, like, people drink when they're happy and people drink when they're sad.
Yeah.
Bartending is a timeless profession.
Yeah.
And ever since then, really, it's been a journey of me just throwing myself into as many different positions as possible so that I can, become a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Eventually, you have to master one thing. And one of the things that really stood out the most to me was education.
Yeah.
So in 2017, I joined the European Bartender School with my two partners, Tom Dyer and Jay Dutoit. And I have absolutely no regrets. It's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, your journey is quite different. Like with most of the bartenders we have here, we have to start from obviously you have to work in the industry, maybe as a cleaner or a waiter or maybe a barber. But yours was just from somewhere administrative and then bartending. It's really cool.
Yeah, so it was I've always worked my entire life, like my mom raised 3 kids on her own, so it was a thing of like go. You be resilient, make something out of yourself, most importantly. And the rest of my family, they were all accountants. And like secretly, I don't like numbers that much. They make me a little bit crazy. The numbers only like it when it looks nice in the bank account, But I was like, I don't want to do that. And the position where I realized bartending is so dope is when I was the staff manager at this bar company. And I had to tell bartenders what to do. And I was like, I don't know what to freaking do. Like, let me go and now actually learn what I have to teach these guys or tell these guys how to do it. Because you can't tell someone how to do something if you don't know it yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
And also, obviously, it gave me great opportunity to learn logistics in events, mobile bars, how to set up bars, how to do management, people management, control. At some point, I was running the VVIP section for Ultra Music Festival in South Africa, which was really cool, from someone who works behind a bar to learning what that one beverage, the power that beverage has in a massive scale capacity production. that's when I realized again, I was like, shit, like this is where, like there is so many cool opportunities in this particular field. And even though you just start off as a bartender, you know, bartending is always something you're going to do. It's always going to be in your heart. You're always going to want to make drinks, even if it's a great cup of coffee or even a non-alcoholic beverage for someone. But being able to serve, I think that's what really, really stood out to me. And for me, like now, I've realized that no matter where I want to be, the one thing that I need to do in life is don't just dream about success, work for it, man.
100%. I mean, your first night during the Accra Bar show, I tasted your cocktail at So. It was just one, and I loved it. And Thomas has to tell me that he used the saffron syrup. This, I have never tried it before, and I've tasted it before. I mean, the syrup is so, but not with the cocktail. So, I mean, when I tasted your cocktail, I was like, this is really dope. So, what was the inspiration behind that?
So first also want to just give a shout out to the team Jafad, you know, for bringing me here. It's not possible without them having brought me here. And our relationship was a cool collaboration that we globally have with the European Bartender School. And the fact that Jafad actually isn't available in South Africa became even more interesting because our connection started with trying to see what we can do to get the product into the country. And I just, you know, like, I asked Thomas, like, so what's the style of drinks that people enjoy here in Ghana? Because that's generally when I go for guest trips internationally, I try and find out exactly what the crowd wants. I add my own personal twist to it by being myself and my quirkiness and the way that the drink is served. But the flavors generally are quite simple. With the Jafad saffron, it was a bit tricky though. I have to say, saffron in general is a really like aromatic spice, and we use it a lot in the Cape Malay cuisine as well. But I was struggling a little bit at the beginning because I was trying to get that flavor out. And saffron is very earthy. So I decided to pair it up with a tequila because I'm also a tequila queen. You know, you'll find me generally. If this wasn't beer right now, it would probably be a glass of tequila and tonic or something like that. Easy TNT, you know? But I decided to pair it with something else that's also earthy. Bring a little bit of that citrus because saffron citrus works really well together. And my first initial bet was going to be, okay, let's go hibiscus. Because hibiscus and saffron work together. Hibiscus is like something that also is quite like prominent here in Ghana. And then I played around with the flavors. It didn't work. And then just lastminute.com, I decided, okay, cool, I'm just going to change this. I ended up making a oleo that initially didn't work with the mix. I tweaked it a little bit, added some vanilla to it, added some lemongrass, and then just made a sour mix. So I ended up deciding, you know what, let's make a nice, easy, almost like tequila tiki style drink with the saffron. Pair the saffron and the earthiness, bring up the citrus with that vanilla sour mix, and then, I mean, tiki and coconut, hello, you know, that's a match made in heaven. So I personally believe, I think this drink still has a bit of, you know, work to do. I made also like a cool little saffron spray on top just to, again, try and highlight that saffron because it is a bit more of a difficult flavor. But I don't think it was too bad, you know, like I would definitely have another one, maybe even 5, you know.
Because I won't lie to you, I loved it. And I just had one glass because we were, I mean, eventually moving from one bar to another bar. I mean, so I just wanted to know, you know, in making cocktails, do you think it's difficult, especially like signature cocktails? Do you think it's a difficult thing to come up with? Do you get inspiration from classics, or you just, okay, I want to do this today, let me just enter the bar and do something?
So my personal approach when it comes to drinks is I look at them on a formula basis because I have studied a little bit of the history of drinks as well. You know, in our 2-day mixology course, we talk a lot about the history of cocktails and we go through different drink families. And I feel when you understand the drink family and the history of where it comes from and certain highlighted ingredients that match certain styles of drinks, for instance, that drink is called In the Mood for Punch and it follows a punch formula, which is alcohol, citrus, or sour, sweet, spice, and then a format of water or dilution, you know? So that's how I generally look at drinks. I try and fit them into that formula. And then whatever the ingredient calls for, then I'll try and think outside of the box and figure out firstly what's seasonal. Because there are many times I've Woo! I didn't do my research properly, and I travel overseas, and then the lemon or lime juice is completely different to what I have in South Africa, and then the drink didn't really make sense, or it didn't twist, or like it didn't balance as well as what I really wanted to. But generally, I'll look at for different formulas, and then I'll figure out a base, a classic cocktail recipe to that, and then create my own unique twist on it.
Awesome.
I do feel it's a lot more difficult for bartenders to come up with their own unique creations because every single technique has been tried so far.
Exactly, absolutely.
But the person who does come up with a completely new one, please come speak to me, man. I want to know, I want to learn.
Yeah. I mean, how many days so far in Ghana? 3, 4?
It's, tomorrow is going to be my last day, so 5 days total.
5 days.
I think that's good time to be in a country. 3 days bar show, 2 days with a bit of cultural stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like that's generally how I like to travel as well. Especially most of the time, I've only traveled for business.
Yeah.
It's always been with the association and the brand. It's very important for me to get the real experience.
Yeah.
And like what Ghana's had to offer so far has just been absolutely magical.
Thank you. Again, have you got the chance to actually visit some bars apart from the guest shifts and all of that?
Yeah. So they were the 3 guest shift bars. There was Soul, as front back, and Enigma, and it's really, really awesome to see like the different levels of style and ergonomics and the way that every single bar has got something different to offer. Every single bar has got a different target market, and we know this is why we build businesses.
Yeah,
we create all these different experiences. But what really, really stood out for me is that the level of advancement in certain bars based on the actual layout of the bar versus how other bars might not necessarily have the best layout or the best bar structure wise, but those oaks have got systems and they push drinks left, right and center without it allowing them to slow down too much. So that was really interesting. We still got a few more to go, and I really hope that I can go and see more. It's been such a cool experience, and the drinks all have been really awesome as well. I'm a sour sweet kind of girl, so easy, nice, refreshing style drinks are my vibe. But like so far everything has been it's definitely met my expectation, but also like has given me such a different perspective. I kind of feel like I was a little bit naive before, and now I've learned another lesson of being like, you just accept places and people and cultures exactly for who they are if you completely stay present and just allow that energy to attract to your energy, and who knows, maybe some cool collaborations happen after that,
Right. So have you also noticed few things that like the Ghanaian bar industry lacks?
Yeah, look, I'm someone who's very optimistic. I've learned that optimism takes me a lot further. But I will mention like a couple of things. I think firstly, there's always room for progress. Every single place where you go to, there's great room for progress. 100%. I don't think people should aim for perfection. Because being perfect sucks. It's boring, and if you think that you're perfect, you're never going to grow. And if you don't grow, then you're not going to provide for your community. Right? The Ghana time is definitely something that is cool, because I'm someone who's very, very punctual. I'm quite like I come from German descent, so that you say something starts at 8 o'clock, and I'm 15 minutes there beforehand already. But it's not something that necessarily bothered me because I'm also on African time. I also make my own exceptions. Again, the time difference in terms of when the party starts as well, that was really cool. All the parties, they start at like 1 a.m. in the morning. Back home, I'm already in bed by 11 p.m. But in terms of if anything lacks, I can't really say that because I truly always accept the way that the hospitality is in its rawest formats on my very first experience. I can tell you that I've felt extremely welcomed. I felt extremely taken care of. The fact that every time I walk through a door, someone opens it for me. Everyone handshakes, everyone greets you. And, obviously for me, like, I might shine a little bit brighter amongst the crowd with my blonde hair and my and my African attitude, you know, and it sometimes doesn't always fit the image. But I felt for the first time, and I mentioned this to someone, I think we had a chat about this in person like yesterday. I felt proud to be African for the first time in a long time. And that really, like, that for me is like, that's something that you don't train. You can't buy it. It's something that lives in your soul. So yeah, sure, there's room for improvement and progress, but please just never, ever lose that energy, because that's what truly made me fall in love with not only just the bar show, but with the people and the way of life here. So
awesome. So another thing I want to know, I feel like when it comes to building a bar, how important is like the structure of the bar? Does it really matter?
Yeah, I mean, hello, you are literally asking people to use their physical energy to work and produce a profits margin to an extent. Your profit margin is going to be influenced if your bar isn't properly set up. So the entire ergonomics of a station needs to be considered. Most people, most bar owners, they hire architects and designers, and what they focus on is the entire aesthetic. And sure, yes, it's got to look Instagrammable, you got to have all the right lights, you know, but sometimes things like the bar counter being too high or being too far off can physically stop the bartender from actually doing the work to their best ability. You know, we have to consider the fact that these people are on their feet for 16 hours a night, you know. Being able to be flexible and work within one step radius and have everything within that radius is the ideal bar that you would want to have. And there are many great tips that you can find online for it. But I feel obviously in this time here right now, you can't ask the owner, listen, let's just rebuild the whole station.
Exactly.
So you got to almost kind of like dollar what you must. You got to figure out where you can cut a couple of corners and where you can, you know, maybe try out different formats of station maps, you know, like 1 month test out this kind of setup, put the glasses here, put that there, maybe try and see, you know, like if something on this side could work a little bit better, and if it doesn't work, you swap the system around. It's trial and error until you eventually find that perfect way of being able to work behind the bar where it feels like it's an absolute flow and you're almost dancing. I think, you know, there's every single bar has also their own type of language. You know, we, for instance, at the school, we use a lot of color coding to make sure that the students, they can associate the color with the ingredient versus having to pick the bottle up, smell it, taste it. Which obviously is, you know, it's good for training yourself. But when you 5 rows deep, you don't have time to like check that stuff all the time. So anything from color coding to like figuring out different types of station maps and also giving visuals to the staff, I think is something that really works, because they get to almost visualize themselves being able to make drinks, which helps them with their flow. And it also helps the entire team see how the bar has to work behind the bar as a unit versus everyone just running around as like a headless chicken. So the actual structure is, like, for bar owners out there, like, take the time to invest in making sure that structure is correctly, because that profit margin can be increased by a massive quarter. And I'm pretty sure that you guys have got the experience and the connections to be able to build these right stations. So owners, get your shit together.
I mean, I'm happy. I mean, you are asking these questions because sometimes when like bar owners, I mean, do call us like, oh, okay, I want you to come and consult, come and train. And then you even get to struggle yourself in the bar. Like the space is really small. I mean, there's no space to put certain equipment. Meanwhile, they need it to work with. I mean, so when you get there, I mean, they can't do anything about it. The only thing they have to do is move something to the kitchen or somewhere that you have to go to the kitchen all the time to pick it. And this is going to waste time and all of that. So I mean, thank you for this particular answer.
If I may also add, you know, this is a business of people. As much as what we want to serve people and make sure they have a great experience, the favor needs to be returned to the people who are doing the work. And we all know that like driving health in other hospitality is a huge, not a trend necessarily, but it's being made more and more aware, because longevity of your own physical health also affects your mindset, you know?
Yeah.
When your physical body, when your vessel is tired, your brain can't function to its max capacity. So being able to make sure that you can take care of your physique, making sure that you yourself also are able to be mobile in your body, take care of yourself, automatically make sure that you take care of your mind. And your mind is the one that takes care of your attitude.
Yeah.
And when you have staff that come to work with an amazing attitude, just imagine that electric energy that they will deliver to the customers, which is, we're happy to make you happy, you get happy, you tell your friends to be happy here at this place, and then everyone is happy. You know, happy days all around. So
the last, so you are a female.
I think so, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, of course, yeah.
And
I'm womanla, you know.
Yeah.
Exquisite pomposity, as I like to call it.
And seeing yourself in the space of, I mean, like male, I mean, dominated, I mean, field. How do you feel?
You know, like, honestly, this is something that's, you know, I'm a very, very proud female leader. I protect my girls. The girls know in I wouldn't want to say my territory, but in my in my city, in the 021, the girls know that when you're with Cass, that you have a safe space. And I'm going to push you also. Like, I'm not going to let you like come here with excuses and like, yeah, no, this. I'm very lucky to have been able to have a good relationship with masculine energy for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I have two brothers. Most of my friends in high school were always guys.
You're great.
I've only recently been able to also connect with my feminine side, because we're taught as women to become really, really tough and really hard. And sometimes when we do that, we block certain specialities, a certain uniqueness that we have as women. So I've learned to deal with a little bit more of my softer side, change the way that I think. So now, sure, okay, it's male dominated, but I also see that every single human that's in this industry has got something to offer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're male or if you're female. You're a human being. And when you connect with your higher purpose and you know exactly how to get there through rational thinking, through investing in yourself, through driving yourself, being hungry for success, knowing that you've got that potential, and you give yourself sufficient time to, you know, plan and think, and to some extent almost treat yourself like a business. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or girl.
Yeah.
You are going to be able to take things so far in your life. And sure, yeah, females, we have it a little bit more tougher. But I don't believe in excuses.
Yeah.
I believe in actions.
Great.
You know, whatever you want to do in your life, work towards it.
Yeah.
Action the things that you say you're going to do. And once you've actioned that, take time to reflect.
Yeah.
Stay humble. And most importantly, do it over again, so that you can continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow to the point where you become the influence, you become the leader of not only for yourself, but for your community.
Yeah. Cool. Have you had any Ghanaian dish so far?
I had some Yolof,
Jollof?
Yolof, yeah, nice.
Okay.
I'm not sure actually if it's Ghanaian or if it's traditional Ghanaian. I'm not but I did have fufu.
Fufu.
Yeah.
Well,
Fufu.
did you eat it with your hands?
Yes, of course, man. Nyama, man. It was a bit difficult with the nails, I must say, but it's like, you know, like it's you know, in South Africa we've got something the same, like pappenwors or cheese and yama, you know. It's like you eat with your hands, you know.
Yeah.
Makes you feel connected to your natural instincts, you know. So that was, oh my god, it was delicious. And also we went out to like the rural area, so it felt like the real experience for me, you know. I'm all about the real experience. Like, put me straight into the deep end, you know. I will eat the sheep's head if you ask me to do that, because why not? You know, YOLO, you only live once. Let's try it out. And the more you get to experience all these real scenarios, the more you can connect with the people, the more you can gain perspective of, what their kind of life is like.
Mm.
And I feel like in life general, everything is really about perspective. So
Yeah.
the more you just put yourself into those positions and you just stay present and you enjoy it. And that fish was delicious. I wish I could take a takeaway back home. Yeah, like just put yourself out there. It was, literally, it was
Cool.
yummy.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
no complaints.
Our last question. So any message for the bartenders, especially the upcoming ones and the females? Any message for them out there?
Yeah, there's a lot of things to say. There's a lot of things to say. At like in our school, at the European Bartender School, our global motto is hard work, spirit, and soul. I love that because that's what really life is about. Work hard, have your soul, have the spirit, have the right attitude, and remember that time is your greatest teacher. So when I was, for instance, like I was bartending for 6 years or competing for 6 years until I won my first competition. I was very lucky to win the competition that took me to Mexico, which was a dream of mine as well. But I wouldn't have cashed in those 6 years worth of experience for anything else, even though they were tough times. But tough times, they don't last.
Yeah.
Tough people do, right? So work hard, put the spirit in, remember to be yourself and feed your soul with the right things to make sure that you can become the leader that you need for yourself, which then hopefully turns into a leader for the community, a leader for your country, a leader that can be proud of what you have to, like what you're doing here in Ghana. Because if you're not proud of being here in your country, you're not going to find, like, the grass is not greener on the other side. I promise you that. You water the grass here, you water it right here, and you water yourself as much as you can. So that's my message. Like, work hard, invest in yourself, be patient with yourself, push yourself, cry, connect with your being, and just remember you're just as unique as every single other person out there. So it's time to shine.
Cuz it was nice having you on the show.
Thank you.
And I know of course she's going to come back to Ghana anytime.
That's not even a question. I'm already trying to manifest the next opportunity. I've already planted some seeds.
Yeah. We talk behind the scenes. Yeah, so we've come to the end of the Bar Talk show with Ellie, and go subscribe, share this with your friends, and also there's our next upcoming masterclass in September. Go follow us, TMC Mixology by Ellie, the Mixology Circle, for more updates. See you.
Aquaba.